Hello, you've caught me feeling nostalgic.
I don't even know if that's worth declaring at the moment, to be honest. You know, nostalgia has got to be the default state of gamers everywhere right now. We're all hugely enjoying Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Stop using clocks, you noob!
Like, really enjoying it. Aside from Crash, Final Fantasy VII Remake is pretty much all I can think about. And in livestream land, I spent last week reliving the wonders of the tanker section in Metal Gear Solid 2. Turns out I barely needed any practice. I remembered where all the guards were, all their sneaking patterns, all the lines of dialogue.
You know, sometimes it doesn't matter how long ago it was since we last played a certain game.
Because some games you just play and love so much, their code practically becomes woven into your own DNA. As soon as I picked up the pad, I just knew instantly what I was doing without really having to think about it. It wasn't so much muscle memory, instead an odd sensation like I'd dusted off an old box that had been locked away inside my brain for the best part of 2 decades and opened it to find everything I'd learned about the game in pristine condition.
My theory is there's only room upstairs for a few of these boxes. You know, we can't absorb every game on a cellular level, can we? You know, everyone's got their select few. And so, here are 7 games that we know so well, we could pretty much play them with our eyes closed.
Please tell us your own picks in the comments. This list will of course be personal to us and is based entirely on what we spent hours and hours and hours playing when we were young, and also not so young. And my first entry, let's get it out of the way, is Metal Gear Solid. Now, there are games I know very well, and then there's this. I've played MGS so many times it's pretty much burned into my retinas, to the extent where if I wanted to, I could close my eyes and watch the entire game like a movie playing out on the back of my eyelids.
In fact, I did used to do that. Back when I played MGS, I only had a PlayStation at my dad's house, and I only went to my dad's house on Sundays.
And so for the rest of the week, I'd just have to make do with thinking about Metal Gear instead of playing Metal Gear. And yeah, it got to a point where the entire game would play out in my mind. And I'm not just talking about me remembering each section in snapshots. No, I mean the whole damn thing. I'd recall every camera movement in every cutscene, every dramatic stab of music, every line of dialogue.
That takes care of the cremation.
I think I've probably seen Metal Gear Solid in my mind cinema more times than I've actually played it. You know what, it's been a while, I might just watch it now.
My happy place. Do not disturb, I'll be here a while. Our second entry is Resogun, a fantastic shoot-'em-up that lit up PS4's launch window like a dazzling neon firework. A certain member of the team, who shall remain nameless,
It wasn't Dave, Rosie, Elle, Dan, or me.
poured their lives into Resogun for months after its release, the game morphing in the Access office from this beautiful new toy we love to have a blast with at lunchtimes into a thing that had to be done just right, or what's the point, start again. This certain member of the team,
It was Nathan.
played Resogun so much he managed to get inside the top 100 in the world, a stat we tracked daily using the inbuilt online leaderboards. What this meant was that Nathan attained a sort of new level of sentience where his thumbs were moving his ship into places he knew it had to be about 2 seconds in advance, the positions of enemy ships, what to shoot and when in order to keep that combo count going, which humans to save immediately and which to juggle until an opportune time, the quickest and most ruthless way to dispatch of all the bosses.
It became almost a dance to the point where Nathan's thumbs knew what had to happen better than his eyes did.
You know, his thumbs knew the steps like a waltz, only quicker and with lots more particle effects, to the extent where you could probably have put a controller in Nathan's hands 6 years ago and watch him play through Resogun without actually looking at the screen. Entry 3. Parappa the Rapper. One of Rosie's entries is a game we reckon she could play through in its entirety without ever looking. I mean, literally, it's totally possible, right? You don't need to move anywhere in Parappa. It's not like you have to jump over obstacles or shoot moving targets. You're just jamming along on the controller to the music. If you know it, you know it.
In particular, we're talking about Mussolini's rap inside the car. You know, so simple, so catchy.
Step on the gas. Step on the gas. Step on the brakes. Step on the brakes.
Step on the gas.
Step on the gas.
Step on the brakes.
Step on the brakes.
It's almost easy with rhythm action games, isn't it? The infectious beat, the fusion of music and movement into one joyous creative whole, almost like it's instinct. Well, instinct and the fact Rosie's played this game so many times, she literally knows what Mussolini's going to rap before he even does it. Entry 4, and of course there's going to be a Final Fantasy entry. The question is, which one? I mean, even I'm a bit annoyed at how often I go on about VII Remake, so let's switch things up a bit to Final Fantasy VIII, shall we? A game I was sort of forced to become an expert on after my first playthrough went so drastically, horribly wrong.
The one where I got all the way to Ultimecia without learning how to junction stuff properly. Yes, we've all heard that story.
After that, I studied hard. It got to a stage where my knowledge of the game went beyond just knowing which bosses had GFs I should draw. I had a whole system down. I'd have done a spreadsheet if I was the type of person who did spreadsheets.
What I actually did was start writing an entire online game FAQ.
This detailed exactly what moves you should make your GFs learn and when. In particular, I was very hot on making Siren learn Life Magic Refinement as soon as possible, which allows you to turn 1 tent into 10 Curaga spells. So I'd buy 30 tents, which meant a lot of grinding, junction 100 Curagas onto each party member's HP stat, and have everyone rocking 3,000 plus hit points before we even got to Timber.
Also, Squall's Renzoku Limit Break. I can do that perfectly without even looking at the screen. Can't wait to do it when the remaster comes out.
A shame the game won't be able to tell if you're doing that with your eyes closed, because I think it needs a trophy. I certainly deserve one at any rate. Also, I learned the values of all my triple triad cards so intimately, I used to play the game without actually paying attention to the numbers. I could look at what my opponent was doing and immediately know which card of mine to play where.
And I know all the words to Eyes on Me off by heart, but no one wants to hear me murdering that, so let's move along.
It's entry number 5 now, which is Doom, the original on PS1, a game Nathan played while at university to the point where he is now very, very good at Doom. Doom is a game about moving fast and shooting things, but is structured in such a way that the enemies and environments are learnable to a degree of such precision that, if you get good enough, you can storm through it like a river exploding from a breached dam. Unstoppable. Even on Nightmare difficulty, you know where you're going to be. You know how many shots to put down that corridor. You know the armor's there and the shotgun's there, and
you feel like a force of nature when you know Doom this well, and it's amazing.
And the game is played like that too. You reach a level where you're not reacting, you know, oh, there's an enemy, I better take cover and then shoot. No, you're not reacting, you're just acting. The enemies are dealing with you, not the other way around. The classic line about Doom is that you aren't trapped in hell with demons.
The demons are trapped in hell with you.
From Doom to the Jungle Book Groove Party, a game that, much like Parappa the Rapper, is all about feeling the music and learning the tracks until you can play it by heart.
Also, like Parappa the Rapper, it's a game that Rosie's played to a point where it's almost become like a religion for her.
The altar of said religion is the classic song I Wanna Be Like You, featuring everyone's favourite orangutan, King Louie. Now, Rosie can literally play this with her eyes closed, not on normal difficulty, not on expert difficulty, no, on crazy difficulty.
The Dante Must Die of rhythm action game difficulty levels.
It's no difficulty at all, however, when you know a game this well.
I was perfect. I'm the best.
Final entry, it's Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. That's right, in it goes, the greatest karting game of all time, gorgeously remade with such faithfulness that my old muscle memory is enough for me to blast my way to 100% completion in adventure mode and put me well on the way to the Platinum Trophy. Honestly though, I know this game so intimately, as I'm sure many others do, to the point where I reckon I could actually set some lap times on Ruse Tubes, my favourite track, blindfolded. And you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Okay, Ruse Tubes without looking. Here we go.
I mean, okay, turns out racing with your eyes closed is harder than you think, but you get the idea. I've learned this game inside out. I know every track and every character and every shortcut. I know where to put my car so that in 3 turns time, I've got the racing line necessary to carry Ultimate Sacred Fire as far as possible. I know the best places to lay traps. I know how close to let rockets get to me before dumping TNT in the way.
I don't even want to contemplate the amount of hours I've put into both the original in 1999 and now Nitro Fueled on PS4.
Still, having said all that, if anyone knows a good way to get around the damn spiral in Dragon Mines, let me know. And don't say the shortcut. The shortcut is a long cut in Dragon Mines. Honestly, rubbish. So there you go, 7 games we know so well, we could play them with our eyes closed. Let us know in the comments what your picks for this list would be. Give us a like if you've ever tried to play one of your favourites without looking, and click that notification bell so you stay up to date with all our videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for another Friday feature.
For the players.